T. Yeah, T. Yeah.
Good day, everyone. We really appreciate your patience and apologies for a bit starting late. Going straight to the point. I'm Enoch. I lead the Orbit community in Nigeria, and we're here together with my colleagues from Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda. So, and one of our goals is to see how we could set up an Orbit community here in Ghana, where we take the message of decentralized storage around each communities within each locations, each cities within Ghana. And as well, this program is successful by the support of the FICON Foundation. So let's go straight to the business. Okay, I've kept my boss is on the wait for a long time. I believe he's on the call, so he could just take over. Please check the Zoom. All right, while we wait him join, Protocol Labs is an open source research and development company with focus on building protocols, tools, services for the new internet. And when we talk about the new internet, we're talking about the Web3. And when you talk about the Web3, so we have what we call the Web2, and we have what we call the Web1. The history of the internet started with Web1. That's when different files are being, archived in a particular system and connected with a hyperlink. And thereafter, we now have the Web2, where we have applications like Facebook. You can be able to interact. You can be able to, do a lot for the society. So it's actually some small number of people building a product for a large number of audience. Now we have the Web3, and the Web3 is, not allowing, giving the large population an opportunity to own the internet. And from the Protocol Labs, we are focused on decentralized storage. You might have heard FICON. Are you familiar with FICON? Let me know how many of us are familiar with FICON, IPFS. If you're familiar with FICON, IPFS, Accra, the city of Accra. Let me see your hands. Yeah, you're familiar with FICON? Awesome. Yeah, I know this guy from Nigeria. You were at Lagos, right? Awesome. So, what can you tell us about FICON?
The FICON event in Lagos was awesome. FICON. Okay, it's a decentralized storage system. Yeah. So you can store like the NFTs and all of that. FICON. The decentralized storage, just it's a simple statement.
Okay, awesome. I'm so happy to see this young man. I remember earlier the year, he actually reached out to me personally from Port Harcourt. He wants to learn coding, and I had to encourage him. He had to migrate to Lagos to join our event. And, because of the curiosity, I was so surprised to see him here. Why are you here? He said, it's okay. He wants to get, he knows what he's looking for. So he paid all the cost to be here. So happy to be with you. And I believe you're going to participate in the hackathon, right? Okay, fine. So what is IPFS? The full meaning is Interplanetary File System. So, and the goal is to make peer-to-peer protocols for the new internet. When we talked about the new internet, we're looking at an internet that's upgradable. We're looking at an internet that's immutable. We're looking at the internet that is decentralized, that is truthful. And FICON Protocol Labs is really 100% saying that this is achieved. And when you talk about FICON, we're looking at what we call the decentralized storage, taking the most important human information and bringing it in the hands of the large you and I to everyone. So that's the cause and that's the goal. And we want to see as many developers here, there's a storage here, partner using this product. We're familiar with what we call centralized. The centralized way of doing things, centralization. Can somebody help me with the word centralization? Okay, you want to, no, I just need somebody else. Centralization, when you said something centralized, what do you understand by that? Okay, yes, please help me.
I basically understand centralization to be a system where resources are kept within the coffers of an organization and managed entirely by it.
So awesome. And then, yes, that's the era of we when you talk about the Web 1, Web 2, that's what you look at with the world centralized. You want to say something? Okay, so we look at the term centralized, where you have, okay, we have the second mic we could use. So you look at the term centralized, where you have applications being built by one certain few number of persons, and then being managed, providing service to large number. But now the world decentralized is actually having these applications in the hands of you and I, ability to manage these applications. And that's the era we are. We're in the era of decentralization, distributed era, where we have, if you look at Facebook as an instance, as an example, is a social media app, and it's controlled by you. We all know the founder, and we know that this can be regulated, whatever they want to take off, whatever they want the public to see. But in this new era of decentralization, any apps that is being built on the ecosystem, the Web3 ecosystem, can't be managed by one person. So it has to be like a consensus. So, and that's where you find out that we tend to see element of trust in this new era. And as the Orbit community in Tanzania, Kenya, we're actually pushing this drive to see that it's been adopted. And so many communities are really adopting and building a whole lot. So we don't want this location to be left behind. And that's why we're here in full force, to see how we can onboard as many as possible to this event. All right. If you look at the diagram, I have two planets shown here. You can see the Earth, and I don't know, why is it on display? I need help here. I'm actually displaying a diagram having two planets. You have the Earth, you have the Jupiter, and then you can, is it from my end? Please, I need help here. Okay, while we wait for this to be resolved, on the screen is showing how IPFS work. The goal is to see that man's important information is being accessed anywhere. Let's assume you find yourself on the planet Venus, and you need an information, perhaps from the Earth. You could look at the time lags from Venus down to the Earth for you to pull just an information. But the goal of the protocol labs is to see that we have information around, at least close to wherever you are. If you're in Venus, so we should have a server, a node running close by. So you can easily pull your data in matter of seconds. So you don't need to wait for like an hour to pull your data. So we are all roundabout. All right, so I just hope this diagram can be seen. You can see how the IPFS map is all spread about. So, and that's why we are actually trying to see how we can have a lot of these a lot of these server, a lot of nodes running here in Africa. In the Web 2 era, we are familiar with what we call the HTTPS, the hypertext protocol. But in this era, we're talking about the Web 3, and for the IPFS, we're using the word, we'll be familiarizing ourselves with what we call the CID, called the content identifier. And that's how you used to call images, call your data, wherever it's been stored. So not like you're going to, link with different systems. So one point I want us to get in here is IPFS is here to address what it is instead of what it is instead of where it is. I hope we get that point. We might drop as a quiz. I just made a point now. I don't know who got it. IPFS is here to address one point, and this is it: what it is, than where it is. I don't know where you got. I don't know if you understand that. Do you understand that? We're not like, we don't know what, we are not concerned about where it is, but we want to know what is. Another thing we need to know is it's replacing the HTTP. So we have what we call the CID. The normal way of addressing it, you have the IPFS, double column slash the CID numbers. And that CID number is cryptographically written. And talking about the cryptographic, we have what we call the cryptographic hash functions. And this has, it is being coded in, series of alphanumeric letters. I'm going to pause here to see what, I'm going to pause here for the technical guys to help out. I have some illustration to show on the screen. And yes.
The other guy is not joining. Or do you mind this data? Is this still on? You're right here.
Awesome. Wonderful experience. Okay. We've making progress. We've made progress. So I shared something about protocol labs. Who can help me with what protocol lab stands for? Who want to answer? You're reading it on the screen. You want to answer? Okay. You want to answer? Protocol labs. Who are we? It's on the screen now, so it's an open source research and development lab with focus of building protocols, tools, services for the new internet, for the improved internet. When we're saying about improved internet, we're talking about Web3, an ecosystem that is meant for everyone. And who is behind us is called, we call them the Falcon Foundation. They're actually the steward of the Falcon community, with a focus of, bringing the most important informations to everyone, So, and protocol labs have a lot of products. One of them is called the IPFS, and IPFS is really very, very, publicly used, widespread. So, and then we have what we call the Falcon storage. The Falcon storage is simply the decentralized storage, preserving the most important informations of humankind, So, as earlier introduced, I'm not just alone here. I'm here with my colleagues here from Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and we're here to see how we could, bring Ghana on the field map. And together, we want to believe that you have a quality time from the well knowledge that will be spread after this. So I kind of explain what centralized is and what decentralized is. and what distributed is. If you look at the diagram here, when you said, when we're talking about centralized, we're looking at the Web 2. And before Web 2, there was Web 1. So that was how the internet started. So Web 2 is just basically a few number of persons designing applications for a large number of peoples. And these applications can be controlled, managed, and stuff like that. So examples are what we have, the Time newspaper, it's there. We have what we call, all these medias, these are under Web 2 applications. But we have a lot coming up on the Web 3 ecosystem now. And when you're talking about Web 3, we're looking at the decentralized ecosystems. These are applications, not called applications, but called dApps, decentralized applications. When a dApps are being built, these dApps are not easily, tweeted. It's trust, it's immutable, and that's why Ficon is here to, pursue this vision to the every ends of the earth. So if you look at this diagram, it simply illustrates the difference between centralized, decentralized, and distributed. Here, all the nodes are running, and all of them have the same features. So I'll be I'll be super fast because time is not really on side. So I actually explained what IPFS is. The full meaning is interplanetary file systems. And when you talk about interplanetary file system, let's break it down. We know what file and system is. Simply files and folders. And interplanetary, what is it? Simply distributed, no central server in it. So that's just the word. And we look at the diagrams, we can see you can see the vision of IPFS. Wherever you are in this earth, in this globe generally. So IPFS want to see that your information is preserved and being accessed as quick, as easy as possible. So, and that's why we're launching a whole lot. So right now we're doing a lot in the space, in the moon and stuff like that. So other speakers, we, talk a little bit deep dive into that. So I wouldn't want to bug you on that. And so I said something earlier, IPFS is concerned of what it is and not where it is. So, and that's where we introduce what we call the CID, the content identifier. So as a developer, as a beginner, you'll be familiar with this. When we're talking about the CID, you can remember what HTTP, the hypertext protocols looks like, but now we're bringing the CID in it. So just as every one of us have different thumbprints, and my thumbprint and yours is different. So likewise on the IPFS, we have there's what we call the cryptographic hash function. So this is like a thumbprint for each file. So and each of these files are different. They all have their CIDs numbers. So I don't want to, as a developer, I don't want to know where it is. All I know is just give me the CID number, and I just pick and I just build my applications. So you'll be familiar with this as we move on, and we'll be doing a lot of series of community works within Ghana here. Yes, there's this. If you look at the diagram, we have what we call the node. What's a node? It's actually a P2P systems whereby it's like a server, and this server has similar characteristics. If you look at the diagram, one of the characteristics as a node provider, you must be discoverable, you must be accessible by everyone here, you must be routable, as you must be able to reach able for you to be a node provider. So, and we're looking at all the data storage providers here, you can as well, look at what it takes you to start running your own node. And this is where it comes. So if you look at this diagram, you can see network of peers of nodes here, and all of them are providing services to other peers. So on this particular illustration, you can see how it all started. You can run your own node, and as you run your own node, you tend to interact with more nodes, and then these nodes how many of us is familiar with a use case called Pinata? Who have used Pinata here? You've used Pinata. Okay, awesome. So this is one of the use case on the ecosystem. So, and you can have a lot of them here, and all paying a little bit of pine for that services. Now, talking about Ficon, I said earlier on, it's actually a storage designed for the Web3 from ground up. So you might be using any whatever ecosystem you are, the Ficon is here, resolving a simple solution. Providing a simple solution? What the solution is bringing decentralized storage to whatever application, whatever DApps is being built. So you could be on the Polygon network, Ethereum, Chainlink Protocol Labs. Polkadot, right? Yeah. So we are all welcoming all this to build on, to leverage the Ficon storage. One feature here is it is compatible with all Web3. It is verifiable. It has a cryptographic proofs. It is massive, and it is decentralized. It's a decentralized network. That's about Ficon. It is governed by, it's not a one, it is governed by consensus. One thing, that's the security behind it. It's the terabyte is quite large across all the globe. We've been providing a lot of it has its own block rewards. It integrates Web3 with Web3 networks like NEA and many others. So if you look at this diagram, it's actually the anatomy of a storage deal. And for those who want to go into the storage business, so there is a whole course on that for you to get to know on how to be a storage provider on the network and how to leverage on that. My colleague will be speaking more on that when he comes on stage. So IPFS is a lot in Ficon. So most times when you see IPFS, you just must see Ficon. So, and for every developers coming up, you need to be familiar with these tools. For those that are not really familiar with this ecosystem, we have what we call the Web3 stacks, and we've been able to illustrate it here. And under the Web3 stack, we have different layers. You have the layer 1, we have the layer 2, we have the storage providers, and that's where you see if you can see the highlighted diagram, the IPFS and the Ficon, that's where we are. There's other network there. So this stack, you need to be familiar with this for you to have a view of how the blockchain ecosystem is running. So as a matter of fact, Web3 has come to stay and it's really adopted. So we want Ghana to really, see how to leverage on these opportunities ahead. So while someone asked me about Flick hosting, and is actually one of the use case live. So these are particular tools that you can study and leverage on. You can use to host your site, your apps on IPFS. So you have what we call the Web3 storage, and it's actually designed for us to use. So there are some information we'll be sharing to you after this lecture for you to, if you want to get to understand how to use this product. You have the NFT storage for all the creatives who are doing amazing work. Protocol Labs have brought this, is having this solution for you to explore, So we have a lot of opportunities here, and you can make cool money here. We have what we call the Power Gates, and it's actually designed for who wants powerful. If you want to have as a developers, you need to be familiar with this tool. So we have what we call the Ficon Green, and that's we were discussing about this earlier on this morning, and we'll be talking in our subsequent event. We'll be talking more on what you can benefit from this place. So I kind of like illustrate the architecture of a Web3. From the front end to the logic to the storage helpers and where you have the FICON and IPFS. We'll be sharing this manual to you after this. So you might want to ask, what can I even build? What can I even bring to the board? So these are just like some current live case on the ecosystem. You have what you call the Hood 01, and it's actually musical solutions. For if you're an artist, you could leverage on this. You have what we call the audios. We have what we call the inflow music. We have what we call the current FM. All these are sitting on the IPFS network. And these are something that you can as well look into and get inspired. And, come up with some amazing a platform for the community here in Ghana and even across Africa or extend to the globe awards. So on the NFTs too, you might be asking what and what is existing. So we've been able to point out few of our solutions on there. We have what we call the Metaverse AI. We have what we call the Mona. We have what we call the Block Bets and the OP games. So these are actually some, solutions on the NFT echo. So for the consumer storage and the variabilities, we have what we call the Curious Digital, the Netis. You have what we call the filter, the Convo space. So these are some stuffs you get to see. All these things are being spelled. We shared on the committees for you to just look at it, study it, and then get inspired on what you can bring into the ecosystem. So on the finance aspect, we have some solution currently called the Canva, the Secured Finance, the Parcel, the Radix, the Canva Finance. So these are actually some solutions currently going on right now on the ecosystem. So, and we've seen a tremendous opportunities here in Ghana. So, and we want you to see this stuff and see how you could tweak it and how to, come up with something that is that will appeal to the communities, because we understand that different communities have their different, interests and stuff like that. So we know that you understand much better. For the Web2 data sets, we have the Internet Archive on the IPFS. We have the Gain Forest, we have the Zara, we have the climate data, we have the Shaun Foundation. So these are some data sets on the IPFS ecosystem. So we've been able to outline some 11 projects out here for you to see, and you might be asking, I know some of you are here for the hackathon and you're ready to you build some crazy, amazing product. These are some ideas here. We've been able to you can come up with something on the social network, simply to create a system that allows people to share content to their peers or whatever. You could come up with something on decentralized social media standards. Video streamer too, you could come up with something on that. Catch the Planet, we have the RS emulator, we have the website archive, we have this decentralized NFT achievement, you can come up with something on that. Distributed metaverse too. So these are some ideas you can as well come up with. So you want to know more about us, you want every one of you to follow us on FICON. You just go at FICON on Twitter, go to LinkedIn to at FICON, and Facebook to at FICON. Likewise, IPFS too, you can just go to Twitter too and follow us. So I want everybody to Crypto Ghana will be helping us on that, on how you can, follow all our social media, how you can join our Slack on that when he comes. So I think at this point in time, I want to take a break, maybe for time for ask questions, and then ask Crypto Ghana to come over. So do we have some questions?
If you have any question, I have the mic.
You can take over from here.
Hello? 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 So I want to welcome you all once again to the Falcon event. So you can see the social handles over here. You can join them and also be part of the community. Being in the community gives you a lot of opportunities to ask questions, be part of giveaways, job opportunities, and all that. When you are part of a community, that's where you get to understand what the project is about, what they are doing, what's next for them, what the upcoming things they are doing. So being part of a community gives you, makes you be ahead of people who are not part of the community. So I urge you all here to join the Falcon social handles. Probably, mostly I think I'll go for the Discord because probably that's where a lot of developers and people are. But if you're familiar with probably other things, you can join. So you can join the Falcon Discord and also try and engage in the Discord and probably make new friends, because in the Web3 space, it's more about connecting with people. If you're not connecting with people, you'll be where you are. You'll be still stagnant because there are a lot of people in the space that have different ideas on what to do and what they're not doing. You can meet people and even start your own projects on Web3 in the community. So I'll urge all of you to join the Falcon community. So I would like to invite Brian, Falcon Orbit Uganda lead, to talk about reinventing storage. So yeah, Brian, we welcome you. So let's clap for Brian.
Yeah, good afternoon. Okay. So as they are putting the slide, by the name, I am Mr. Brian, the Filecoin Orbit community lead in Uganda, and my first time to be here. I'm really happy to meet the blockchain enthusiasts from Ghana. And like he shared, let's all guys join the Filecoin Orbit community for Ghana. Like most of you could be new to the use case, maybe on blockchain, in particular with Filecoin and IPFX, which is storage. And most of you have been used to DeFi and gaming, but now we're talking about something to do with the decentralized crowd storage, which is on Filecoin and IPFX. So we need to know what storage is and why do we need this decentralized cloud storage, in particular on blockchain and on IPFX and Filecoin. So we all know that currently we are in a data era whereby most of the businesses now are more focused on the information maybe we use over their services. There is a lot of information that usually takes place. Maybe let's talk about data when you're using Google or some other platform like Facebook. So with a case, yeah, so we have a lot of data within the e-commerce, within the e-commerce related to be with the artificial intelligence systems. And now, these big companies, when this data is well utilized, they usually use this data for customer retention. Yeah, they use the data for customer retention. They use this data for marketing. They use this data for maybe some things with risk management. Okay, so maybe they know that the community in Ghana, they like this stuff like this. So this information will help also Google to determine some of their ads. Okay, so talking about this, now the challenge comes that when it comes to storage, for this kind of sensitive data, they run to these centralized storage providers we know. For the case of the Amazon, AWS, the Google Drive, Dropbox, but these are centralized what? Storage providers. Something to like talk about decentralization. Is it okay? Thank you. So today there has been rise of e-commerce, mobile web application data, and IoT, that is Internet of Things, AI system that have led us to a data-driven era. Yeah, we're in a data-driven era whereby most of these companies and businesses are seriously collecting this data and information, maybe from different websites. Maybe we access, let it be e-commerce, it would be like maybe a ride-sharing application, it would be like a shopping application. So this data once well collected, it creates various opportunities around customer retention. We know about that. Those guys are doing marketing, how these people collect this data and determine whom to advertise to. They don't know the target audience of their customers through all this data. But now the challenge comes in that when it comes to cloud storage, these businesses do determine to use the popular choices of storing and managing and sharing this data. They run to centralized storage providers. And the cases of Google Drive, Google, AWS, Dropbox, and many others. But these are centralized, okay? So this gives the cloud host immense power over our data. So that means someone explained about something to do with content addressing and location-based data. So in this case, our information is pinned to this location of these storage providers. You get it? And these are prone to most of the data breaches and hacks. You get the information? So meaning the data is not safe on that end. So these are sort of the shortcomings of centralized cloud storage. The challenges already existing on these centralized cloud storage services, there is lack of ownership. You really don't own that data. Yes, you're having your information there, but surely you don't own it. What I mean is that anytime you can lose access to that information, though it is your information. You get it? So because it's centralized, it is in control of some other, to the service providers, the way we use our Facebook and Google. Data breaches, you guys have heard about various data breaches with Facebook even before, how the systems have been hacked, how our information is being sold to third parties, you get it? How our information gets sold to these third parties, but this is our data. So think about censorship and monitoring. Our data is monitored closely. It is monitored because even with Telegram and Facebook, there is that thing that indicates that in case maybe there is need of information, your information from Telegram or Twitter, maybe it could be like a court order. They have that authority to share all that information. You get it? So we have the high storage costs. Those guys who are doing the developers, you know what it costs for you to have your information and data stored maybe on these centralized storage service providers. Okay, especially this has been like, that's how the Amazon is making a lot of money out of selling space for guys to have their data on. We have data outages. Anytime your data can be misplaced, or you can even lose access to that information. So now, if I may ask, if you have your data stored, because now someone talked about the Web 1, then Web 2, Web 3. All these evolutions of the internet have their own challenges and benefits. So now, talking about storage, we are all used to these physical devices. Which other? Some of them are like floppy disks, others where we store our data. Hard drives, yeah. Yes, now we have the Google Drive. You can have the information on Dropbox. So where do you think, for the case of financial records or health records or data, where would you best prefer to store your information? On a flash disk or on Google Drive? Sorry? On Google Drive. Where would you prefer to store your data? On a flash disk or on Google Drive? On Google Drive. Okay. So why? Sorry?
As in, you can easily retrieve, even though you lost maybe your phone or your device, you can easily retrieve it on Google Drive, even if you lost your device.
Yes,
your
okay.
device
Anyone
I think
else?
the same thing. It's about
The same reason as well.
how easy you can access it. If you lose your device or something, you get it.
Now, I'm just asking in case you were to store your private information regarding maybe health records, where would you best prefer to have your data stored?
Oh, that one I would choose the flash drive. Yeah.
You choose a file drive, okay? You choose as a Google
That's
Drive?
personal to me.
Yeah, okay. Your personal data may be to do with finance and health. You choose the flash drive. Yeah, I myself, I would choose the flash drive. But now, the challenge now comes, in case I travel now to Ghana and I leave my flash drive in Uganda, how would I access my information for this case? So you see, his point is what? So for the Google Drive link, I would just go to Google Drive, then I get information and share with you. Okay? So with a flash drive, it is secure. I'm the one who can decide to share the information with you by giving you the flash, then you can get a copy of it. Though it's more secure this time. But now, the flash has limited storage capacity. It can get damaged, though it has the aspects of what? Of security and privacy. But now, coming to you with Google Drive, anytime, there are some countries that don't even access Google services. For example, in China. Not so. Yeah. Anytime Google can shut down and you can't get access to your information. Sorry? Sorry? You're not aware of it? Eh? Yeah. Recently you had a case, was it Turkey, where LinkedIn was shut down? Okay? So now with the Google Drive, maybe this is something to do with censorship. Censorship. You don't really own the data. You can be restricted. You have gone to the site, you put because someone explained that with these centralized cloud storage providers, these are location-based. So you need like a link, a web link to get that information. A link to get that information. And since it's pinned to a location, it is prone to many things, data breaches and hacking. Because of course, if you're told that the information is here, you know where it is located, it is maybe a centralized database. Most of the hackers target those centralized databases, maybe they steal the data and do that stuff, okay? So now let's talk about data that is content-based, what it is. You understand it? You get the point? Yes, what it is, not like the location. So what I mean here, you can request this data from different computers. It is distributed. It is not in one location. That's why someone said that this information is stored on different nodes and computers, so you can get it at any time. In case one node is down, you can retrieve information from another node. So your information is entirely on Google Drive. You get it? So what is the decentralized cloud storage? It is a shift from a location-centric approach to a content-centric approach. So it is defined by where it is, rather it is defined by what it is, like the previous speaker said. So why is decentralized storage critical for a better web? Yes, it is a location-centric approach. No, the centralized storage is location-centric approach, which is prone to many of the challenges I've explained to you. To hack, censorship, stuff like that. If you talk about the physical devices like hard drive, you have talked about the challenges of maybe misplacing it or leaving it behind. So let's talk about content-centric. That's why we bring in IPFX and Filecoin. Filecoin and IPFX, they work complementary. Interplanetary file system helps to transfer files or share files in a peer-to-peer way. Then the Filecoin is providing a decentralized storage cloud for this information. You understand? You get the point now. How IPFX is now maybe IPFX, now maybe Filecoin would be like our Flash. Then IPFX is going to help us we can share this information and data across different users, okay? So, move on. Someone is going to explain to you how you can upload your data freely, whereby you can upload the data to the decentralized cloud storage, you encrypt it, and the file gets encrypted, then the encrypted file splits into pieces. In this case, it is fragmented or duplicated to other computers. Then it gets stored across other storage nodes on the decentralized cloud storage network, in this case, Filecoin. I think the next speaker would do it better if we do like a hands-on and everyone can upload maybe a file or your own photo on IPFX. And then maybe sharing, giving access to that information, you just share with me the CID. I think someone is going to explain that in detail. In regard to that, your questions are welcome. Yeah.
You mentioned decentralized cloud, data brokers, and location.
Yeah.
I want to know if Filecoin is a software as a service, SaaS.
It is a what?
Software as a service, SaaS.
Okay.
Yeah, SaaS.
SaaS.
Yeah.
I've heard about it. Is it working like the way AWS is working?
It's a customer relationship management.
So, yeah, Filecoin is a blockchain. It's a blockchain network for a decentralized cloud storage. So, what we like, maybe someone would you explain that? Did you understand from the beginning what Filecoin is? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Sorry?
Okay, so with the Filecoin network, it's different from the normal storage or cloud networks in that since it's decentralized, you can still like store your files the way you do with Google Cloud and all the other storage options, but think the major difference with it being a distributed network is now when it comes to things like support, you get it from now the community instead of like one company like AWS offering like support services. So it's more of like the developers within the ecosystem who provide like any support that you may encounter.
Any other before I call the next speaker for this case? So now you can differentiate between what Filecoin is and IPFX. That's all. Okay. So thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your presentation. And I think we shall have a more open discussion. Maybe you can deep dive into what Filecoin is and storage. Maybe you can understand it. As if you still have some question. Are you convinced about what Filecoin is? It's okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, so thank you, Brian. So we'll be inviting Alan, Falcon Orbit, Kenya lead. Okay, let's go. So we'll be going for a 10 minutes break, so you can connect with people around here. And after that, we'll be launching the Phil Africa. So we have 10 minutes break. Thank you. So we are back. So we'll be having Alan here. He's a far orbit Kenyan. So he's going to build our first DApp using the IPFS. So he's going to teach us how to build a DApp using the IPFS. So we'll wait for Alan so that we can go.
Yeah, okay. My name is Alan. I'm from Filecoin Orbit Kenya, and I work as a technical lead for a company called WengiWeb, which is based in Nairobi, Kenya. And for this session, we'll look at building dApps with IPFS. So we'll just briefly look at what is a dApp, the architecture of a dApp, why use IPFS, then the IPFS tools to build a dApp. Then we'll look at some cool examples of decentralized applications that have been built by leveraging IPFS, especially in Kenya, and some no-code tools, then the ecosystem. Yeah. So a dApp is simply an application that runs on a peer-to-peer network. So with a peer-to-peer network, there's no central point. And so the D in the dApp stands for decentralized. So that's where the full name dApp comes in, meaning decentralized application. So it is just considered decentralized if there is no single point of failure, or there is no like a central server, and it runs on a decentralized network. So with, I think with the network like IPFS, since it's distributed, it means like the network is now peer-to-peer. So that's like one key aspect when you look for a dApp. Then it is built by smart contracts. So the application logic uses smart contracts, which is like the core part of what makes a decentralized application. Because smart contracts are like, with smart contracts, it's just simple as contracts, the normal contracts you sign maybe with your employer. But now in the blockchain case, it's contracts that you sign in order to like run applications within a blockchain network. Yeah. So here is like a brief architecture of dApp. So at the front part is just the front end. So in the front end, we have your normal web, your normal front end frameworks like React, Next.js, and other frameworks. So then there is like the NFT dApps and all those front end frameworks which a user uses to interact with. Then we have the logic. So that's the standard application logic or smart contracts. And we have helpers. So with helpers, there are tools like Estuary, Web3.storage, and Pinata. So helpers make your work easier if you want to store data on IPFS or on the Filecoin network. Instead of you as an individual going to reaching out to storage providers and negotiating on the price to store your data, you can use helpers who do all the work for you, who negotiate and just make your work easier. Then at the core, we have Filecoin and IPFS nodes. So you can run like your local nodes. There is Lotus, which is the network implementation for the Filecoin network. So Lotus is what people use to set up your own Filecoin node or infrastructure. So is there any question around architecture of a DApp?
Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful presentation so far. So my question is with regards to application deployment. As a service provider, is it possible to migrate from a centralized system like GCP AWS to the Filecoin ecosystem to deploy a working app?
Yeah, you can migrate your files or your application for something like Flick. I know there's someone mentioned something like Flick. So if you have like an application on GCP, you can use, if you use something like Flick, you can use like the same build commands that you use like on GCP to deploy application on IPFS. Then another thing that's also been, it's also like in the works is called compute over data. So this applies to applications with like large data sets. For example, something like Twitter, it processes like large amounts of data over time. So with, if you're handling like such an application, the compute over data creates like data pipelines on top of the application that is running like in the Filecoin network. So this just makes it easier to also retrieve maybe some information from your application, upload information. Yeah, so that is still in the works, but there are some endless ways to leverage on Filecoin to deploy application or to transfer your application from GCP, AWS to the network. Yeah. Oh, another thing on like AWS and like the build commands. So let's say with AWS S3, with how you upload files, something like Flick, it uses just the similar commands. So you don't have to like learn something new or learn like new ways to process data around your application. So it makes it easier. So the only benefit you mostly get is with using now IPFS and Filecoin is now your application is decentralized and more secure. Yeah. So any other question around architecture of a DApp? So why IPFS for dApps? I think I'd already touched on this. Decentralized storage helpers, and it's more secure. So these are like the core tools. If you are like, if you want to deploy your dApps on IPFS, so that's web3.storage, NFT.storage, there's Flick, there's Estuary, there's PowerGate, and another one I forgot to add is like the no-code Clarity. So with Flick, they have now the space daemon, which I was mentioning earlier. So you have the ideal for building desktop apps. So the usage is, there's a JS client and GPRC API. I think I can just show briefly the page. So we'll just look at the documentation to see some of the tools that you can use on Flick. So Flick offers just basic, the normal hosting services, the way you can just host your website, maybe using a local web hosting provider. You can also do the same with Flick, and that any website, even a simple HTML built website, HTML and CSS, you can host that. You can host complex web applications and many more. Oh, another thing is on the Flick storage. If you look like storage AWS S3 integration, so with this integration, you just use the same build commands you'd use on AWS S3. The only difference is now instead of your files going to AWS, they go to the IPFS network. Then there's the Flick API. So it exposes the hosting functionalities to manage sites on the Flick platform, to fetch data from them or trigger new deployments. There's also Flick CLI. So you can use this if you don't want to use the graphical interface, you can use the CLI to deploy like applications and also store files, the Flick storage. So any question around Flick? Web3.storage is another favorite platform that I also like using it a lot. So with Web3.storage, you can use it to store like any file. It's not limited to anything. They also have like APIs, and that makes it easier to like fetch and retrieve data to the IPFS network. Another use case around them is they introduce like oracles. So with oracles, it creates like the ability to bridge data on chain to the network. So one good use case around oracles is a company called Shamba Network. So that company is based in Nairobi, Kenya, and they use Web3.storage to store like to store something called MRV data. So what Shamba Network does, it's involved, it's something to do about climate change. So they take a lot of satellite images. So with these images, they need to be stored like at least in a decentralized network. So they use Web3.storage to store data, and then they have the oracle to now bring that data on chain to the Shamba Network application. So there's Estuary. So Estuary is good if you want to store your data to the Filecoin network. So the Filecoin and IPFS network are just different in that Filecoin offers that persistent storage. IPFS, more of hot storage. And if you want just an easy way to retrieve and upload your files, so you just use IPFS. So the power gate, I think, so power gate is a good way to connect and extend like libp2p, IPFS applications and Filecoin. So it offers also that bridges to NIA and other protocols. So it's good for interoperability if you want to use like if you want to use maybe IPFS across different like blockchain networks. So how it works, it's has Docker container wrapped around an IPFS node and a Filecoin node. So if you like have something around a Docker container, you know, it consumes like less power and the performance is okay. So there is stage, store, and retrieve data, default configs for miner selection. Usage, they have JS and Go clients. Yeah. So NFT.storage, I think he'd be the one to touch more on that one. So other thing is no code tools. So this applies to people who do not have like technical experience around maybe building applications, and maybe you just want to fast track your process in maybe building a decentralized application, or you're in a hackathon and you have like 24 hours to build a product, or you want to build like an MVP, a minimum viable product, in order to maybe showcase to potential investors. So this is like something you can use with no code clarity. So you can build your dApp on the Stacks blockchain. Then the data is stored on IPFS. Then you can also deploy your dApp on IPFS to attain that full decentralization. So here are like several dApp examples, storage apps. So there's Late, there's ChainSafe, which is like one of my favorites. So I think I'll touch more on ChainSafe. With ChainSafe, it's a dApp that enables you to like encrypt files before you upload them on the IPFS network. So with the IPFS and Filecoin network, it's a public network. So if anyone has that content identifier, they can just use it to get your files that you've uploaded on the network. So this means that if you're storing like files that maybe passwords that you need them to be secure, it's not like advisable if you to store them on like the Filecoin network. But with ChainSafe, it introduces that encryption feature where you can encrypt your files before uploading them or storing them on the Filecoin network. So there's videos and music apps, which is Huddle.one, Huddle1, which Enoch had shared like about it. So let's decentralize the web. I think that marks the end of my presentation, unless there's a question. So, is there any question? So you can check out the company I mentioned, Shamba.network. That's like something built for Africans by Africans. So it's a really cool project that is decentralized and uses IPFS. So there's so many more you can check out if you just search for Filecoin ecosystem on Google. Yeah. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Alan. So, Alan, I think I want to ask you a question. What about me not being a developer? How do I sell storage to people? Like, how can I buy storage on the system and sell to people? Is it possible? Or you say it is more centralized now?
I think you'll need to now set up your storage network, or you need to now become a storage provider.
Yes,
officially.
so I want to be a storage provider.
Yeah.
How do I do that on
So
Filecoin?
one is you need to identify maybe the amount of resources you're willing to allocate to set up those equipments, because being a storage provider means you need to first have space to store
Yeah, so
people's
I want
data.
to buy the space from
Yeah,
Filecoin.
yeah.
So I buy-
Filecoin does not.
So I know it's a decentralized storage network.
Yeah.
So how do I set up my own storage?
Your own storage network, or
using
your own
Filecoin
storage.
Yeah.
So there is that tool, I think I shared, it's called Lotus.
Pardon?
Lotus. Lotus.
LOTUS.
So if you use lotus.io, you go to lotus.io, you'll just find the resources on a step-by-step guide on creating your infrastructure and everything. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But Martin will touch more on the storage opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll be launching Phil Africa very soon. So I'll invite Enoch to join us. Enoch. So we'll invite Enoch to tell us a little bit about Phil Africa, the opportunities that they are going to give us, and what to expect from Phil Africa.
Accra, I hope we're all having a nice time. Let me hear your wow now. Let me hear your wow feel. Feel. All right. Just as you have the Filecoin coin, it's called feel. So how many of us want some feel today? You want some feel? Let me see your hand. Okay, nobody. Oh, okay, this guy. All right. Martin, okay. They don't want it. They don't want it. They don't understand what's feel. Feel is, you have feel, you're okay. So at this point now, we want to launch the Feel Africa. So I'll be doing it together with Martin, Alain, and Brian here. So so we want to we're trying to run an inclusive community. That's how we could extend this information, this wonderful opportunities to as many of us out there. So I believe when we're going to Ethiopia, Mauritius, maybe we'll go together, right? So let's just continue. So, but let's just put an effort to learn, and there are a whole lot you can leverage. You could be a storage provider, it could be a smart contract developer. Just be an ambassador of IPFS, an ambassador of Filecoin, and then we can speak the same language. And then when opportunities comes, we'll be able to talk well. Or if you're not an ambassador, we can talk. Let's just connect well. So doing this, we'll have some cake, we'll cut, and just have some good, happy time while we welcome the next speaker, Martin, to take over. Please, let's quickly. Let's use your table. Awesome. It's nice. I need snap. Prince, can we? Okay, guys, if you want to go with our freebies, what you do, you just be creative. You just snap with the cake or snap with any of the ambassadors. You post it on your own Twitter line and then tag at FICON Africa, at FICON, at FICON its own, FICON one word, at FICON Foundation, just tag, and then just be creative with your post. And then we'll randomly select some winners out there. So quickly do that. So the vision of this is actually kind of like a medium of which will, launch different communities around Africa, basically. So, and the pioneers are, you can see us here. Please, Martins, can we get to see you, sir? Brian, can we get to see you? Ellen, can we get to see you? Okay, myself, Prince, can you, okay, before you join us, okay. Wait, just hold on first. Okay, so these are leaders representing different representing their nations, doing amazing works out there. And we'll be doing a lot here in Ghana. So, and then you guys are kind of like the pioneers that will be supporting this vision, because you don't expect Martins from Tanzania to always come here often. So you understand how to speak. I learned Medao. I learned the language. I love you. I think I learned that. Can someone teach me again?
Medal.
Medal. Yeah. Medal. Yeah, that was one of my first words I learned. I loved. So want to see how more of you help us to, carry this message to, storage providers, developers, business guys. And then there is an immense opportunities here. As I said earlier, he reached out to me in February, I think, in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. So, and he wants to learn. I said, okay, can you come to Phil Lagos in March, April? And he came and he joined and he was inspired. And he went, hence dirty, learning a lot. And now he learned we're here in Nigeria. I don't know how he came here, but he's doing amazing well. I think he's even enjoying here more than where he's coming from.
I think we need to ask him why he's here.
Yeah. But yeah, he's actually here to learn and as well.
And how he got here.
Yes, Medal. All right, so it's just beautiful. The community just beautiful. So at this point, we'll be cutting the cake with support with so we're already thinking of going to Ethiopia, we're already thinking of going to Mauritius and stuff like that. So it's a very global stuff. So I want you guys to think beyond the boundary, and this is an opportunity, and it's actually meant for few. And the earlier you seize it, the better for you. And please, if you don't have a laptop or you have a laptop, just meet every one of us. Whatever you can get from us today, just try and get it from us. We are actually here. We appreciate the FICON community. We appreciate our leader, John Bennett. We appreciate the Yulia. She leads the Orbit community. Please go to Twitter, follow Yulia at Yulia. You can see her there. Follow her. Follow stuff. So at this point, let's cut the cake, guys. How do we do it? 1, 2, 3 in Ghana is what? Bako Minister. Yes. Okay. Bako Minister. Medal. I love that word. I'm married, so I think yeah, this guy is over. Okay. So guys, so who is moderating? Okay.
So 1, 2.
Okay, so wait. Okay, we'll do it this way. Just we, the ambassadors, then Prince will join, then later every one of us will join us.
Okay.
I think we're cutting in 3 phases.
Oh, okay.
The pictures will be in 3 categories. Okay?
There's some lightings.
Oh. Medal. Sorry. What's my? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Hey, my key is not good.
Thank you. Thank you. Medasi. Yeah, Medasi. Medasi. Please, let's appreciate Vida. Let's appreciate Medasi, Vida. Medasi, Vida. Wow, this is
Wow.
awesome. Woo, feel Africa. This picture. Yeah.
So we are cutting the cake.
Okay, guys.
In 3, 2, 1. Feel Africa. Could you join? So everybody can, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
let them come, let them come.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
So I want everybody to come take a group picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a group picture.
Yeah, everybody, please. Yeah, same person. Yeah, awesome. This is lovely. Huh? Okay. So, camera, are you ready? Hey, guys. Okay. And the ladies, okay? And ladies, come forward. Vida, where you come here? Ladies. Just you? Okay. No. Okay. Okay, you talk. No, fine. Okay. Straighten. A little straighten. Yeah. All hands. Awesome. Thank you. So when are we doing the taste? Now?
Yes.
Okay, please,
So
can you help us?
you can just.
Okay, at this point.
So, yeah.
As said earlier, the vision is to, make the community inclusive in Africa, seeing as much as we can cover among nations to nations, and in support, we will be working together collectively. And at the moment, with our presence here, the Orbit Committee in Accra, Ghana is already established. So we want to see how we could go to Kumasi and stuff like that. So we'll be adding you to this WhatsApp group, the Telegram group. So we want you guys to be active, and let's see how we could have our next session will be an online. We'll bring Alan to do a little bit deep dive on what he just shared, because we don't expect to get a whole package today. So I will be speaking to as many of the mentors around here, even myself, to share with you. So what we need from you is to tell others, because we have a lot of people who applied to be here, but we're still expecting more of them. So just be an ambassador, and then all the support the FICON Foundation will be supporting to make sure that it's a success here. So I want to see amazing product on the IPFS, the FICON network from you, and we will have a whole lot, grant opportunities and stuff. You'll hear from the next speaker. Let me hand it over to.
Yeah. So inviting my Martin, Far Orbit Tanzania, lead business opportunities in the ecosystem. So he's going to talk about the business opportunities that we can have in the ecosystem. So Martin.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Martin Sylvester Kianja. from Orbit Community Tanzania. And I would like to share with you some of the opportunities that are with the Filecoin ecosystem. So let's get started. So some of the points we are going to discuss, it's going to see how you can participate in data storage, data mining, some of the requirements. We are also going to discuss other ways you can benefit from the Filecoin ecosystem. Some of you are asking, you're here, I say, I'm not a developer, how can I benefit? Others are saying, I'm a developer, how can I still benefit? What is the extra thing there that I can get through this ecosystem? I'll get started. These are the opportunities in the Filecoin ecosystem. The first and most important opportunity is being a data storage provider, or what we call data mining, okay? We have mainly 3 types of providers. You can be a provider in many ways, but the first and most important one are storage providers responsible for storing data, files and data on the network. Then we have the retrieval providers. These ones are still under development, will be responsible for providing quick pipes to retrieve files in case files have disappeared. And then we have the repair providers that is to be implemented. These guys are the heart of these 3 are the heart of the network. They earn fuel by storing data. Once you store data, the compensation you get is Filecoin, fuel, okay? So when Enoch asked you, do some of you want fuel? It means that, did you want some crypto? And people, you didn't put up your hands. You don't want money. Yeah? You have to put up your hands. The guy is going to give out fuel and you're there, okay? So they earn fuel by storing data for clients, computing cryptographic proofs to verify storage across time. They earn rewards for adding new blocks of data. Okay, so the probability of earning transaction fees and block rewards is proportional to the amount of storage the storage provider contributes to the Filecoin network. The more storage you have, the higher your chances of making money. Obviously, if you have 40 terabytes, you are going to make more money than someone having 10 terabytes of data. All right. So what are the system requirements? Some people are asking, can I use my normal PC? Okay, your i3 won't work. Huh? your i3 won't work. You need a good, you need big machines. Eh? So don't think your i3 is going to store data. So what are the hardware requirements? The hardware requirements are actually very demanding, as it said. But once you acquire them, they are not expected to increase in the foreseeable future. The money spent on hardware should provide you with many years of reliable service, paying for itself times over. This is kind of an investment, okay? Once you invest to be a data storage provider, you'll make a lot of rewards in the future and for a very, very long time. So you'll need this hardware to facilitate the storage, but Treasury runs some computationally expensive operation called proofs, okay? Yeah, so you need to run these proofs regularly. So what are some of the system requirements? It should be an 8+ core CPU. It should be an 8+ core CPU. And you have to have at least 128 GB of RAM, you know? 128 GB of RAM. That's why they said it's a little expensive. So if you have 6 GB of RAM, you have to upgrade the system. Let's be polite. You have to upgrade the system. But all this doesn't mean that it's not possible. Slowly by slowly, you can build your node, slowly by slowly, okay? You have to have a powerful GPU and 1 terabyte of this space and additional hard drives to help you. So, but there are new innovations that are coming in data mining. There is fileminer.io that are building this a home network appliance for Filecoin mining and Filecoin storage. It is going to be available in March next year. You should check them up on fileminer.io. This device is going to cost around 1,900 pounds. I think that is affordable. 1,900 pounds. Don't shake your heads. It is affordable. You can be able. And there is also another one, 1,750. So it ranges from 12 terabytes to 14 terabytes. So you'll be able to see how much you are making per day and address and everything. So you can buy this, and it's a plug and play. You plug into your socket and connect to internet, and boom, it starts getting into the network. So check out that page to read more about it. Those are some of the new innovations. It was launched on the Phil Singapore event, and now they are taking pre-orders, and in March they will be distributing, March 2023. Okay. So another way to make money in the ecosystem is staking Filecoin. So if you are not holding some Filecoin, guys, you can hold some Filecoin and you stake it on the different platforms. But guys, be aware of scammers. Some people put up scam websites and they give you an abnormal APY and tell you, yeah, you're going to get 700 APY. Once you put there your Filecoin, boom, the website becomes unresponsive. So you have to get to the trusted sources, do your due diligence. And guys, this is not financial advice, okay? It is an independent decision that you will take, okay? So you can take, you can stake on Filet, OX, and other exchanges. All right. Now, what are the other opportunities that are available? We also have the grants and accelerators. So some of you are developers and business developers. There are grants and accelerators for your IPFS and Filecoin projects. So the reason Alan was here was to show you how you can build. So after building, then you apply for this grant. That's why Alan and Enoch and Brian all prepared for you for this part, okay? So that you can get access to these grants and accelerators. So the builders' final mission is to enable developers and entrepreneurs like you to execute on your dreams through advocacy, grants, and collaborative support as you iterate towards success and get ready to hit escape velocity. Okay, so let's look at a grants overview. There are types of grants that you can get from Filecoin and Protocol Labs and the Filecoin Foundation. We have the next step micro grants and the open grants. You build something awesome with IPFS or Filecoin, either at a hackathon or independently. Obviously, in the future, we shall be organizing some hackathons here in Ghana. So if you build something, you can take the next step and get up to $5,000. How much is that in Ghana shillings? $5,000? Quick math, quick math.
What? $5,000. Shilling, CDs. Yeah.
That's about 65,000 Ghana cedis.
75,000 Ghana cedis. So you can get up to 75,000 Ghana cedis if you build a very good project on the IPFS. Then, if you have an idea of advancing the decentralized web, you can get up to 50,000 for novel work to apply IPFS to new domains and bring significant new usage, okay? So it is up to you to get behind your computer, do that extra research, and attend the Filecoin events and get started on how you can access this, okay? Then there are also targeted grants. The community can identify your project and they come directly and negotiate with you. This is mainly in the typical experienced web technologies. Okay, so the next step micro grants, you just do it on a hackathon, mini hackathon, independent projects, build something, and you can apply for it from there. I think you can see that link. If you want to take a picture, you can take a picture on GitHub. You go there, you read about how you can get those grants. So they are dev grant developers. I think you're done taking a picture. Right. Then, so you can see there are some grants that were accepted. You'll see the examples of grants and you can read in details about those different projects and see how you can fit in, how you can do something that fits in your scope. Okay. Then we have the open grants from $5,000 to $50,000. You are for novel work to apply IPFS, Filecoin, leave P2P to new domains and bring significant new usage. Okay. Some dedicated tracks for projects that integrate across Web3, like Hedera token service, Chainlink error codes, and more. Middleweight application and monthly review. So you can also apply through GitHub. All right. So mainly here you have a very, very new and brand new idea, and you can build it from there. Okay. So we also have something amazing. We have what we call the Filecoin Green. Some of you, Filecoin Green has some grants that are coming up that will support climate positive regenerative finance, refi initiatives. You know, most of these you heard, many people are talking. Ethereum recently moved from proof of work to proof of stake. And one of the main aims was climate change, because proof of work takes more electricity and it's dangerous for climate, okay? So Filecoin has come up with Filecoin Green. So it is one, it has very, very many big grants that you can have access to once you are into the refi projects. In conjunction with the Filecoin Foundation is excited to announce the launch of the 1 million grants in support of regenerative finance projects aiming to bring economic system into healthier alignment in the natural world, okay? The grants program is an extension of the Filegreen mission that aims to measure the environmental impacts of Filecoin and verifiably drive them below zero, building infrastructure along the way that allows anyone to make transparent and substantive environmental claims. So you have to go dig a little further how your project is good for the environment, okay? Don't bring projects that are destroying the environment. Some more guys, they won't be accepted. So to access this money, you have to be pro. Then you can also be part of, it's an opportunity to be part of the Filecoin Orbit program. You'll get, there are so many opportunities that are going to come by, not only getting some amazing swag, but then there are also other opportunities that will come by, okay? So we shall be discovering those opportunities more, and we're sharing them. The most important part, follow the Orbit program pages, Filecoin Foundation, Protocol Labs, IPFS, okay? You follow the local pages, Feel Africa, Feel Orbit Tanzania, Orbit Uganda, ETH Nigeria, and you be a follower of all those pages. Join the Telegram groups, Discord, and all the other social channels. Thank you very much, guys. I think you saw where you're going to get your money. Okay, so I know you're going to get that money. Thank you so much. All right.
Okay, thank you very much. So any question? Anyone has a question? Anyone has a question?
I was very clear.
Okay.
Sorry, I want to confirm about the development on the, you said something about payment, people, your project that you want to do, that they can pay you for sponsoring if they see something on your project, a project that you're doing with concerning the, is it the Filecoin or the the Filecoin, right? I think the business opportunity you're paying about something mentioned like 50,000, 5,000, something about it. Can you please clarify that aspect for me well so I can get it really well?
Okay, where I talked about the grants.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, the micro and the grants.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on what you're building on Filecoin. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there are many things that are put into consideration. Okay, the applicability, complexity. Okay, and but the most important part is you have to build it on the IPFS and Filecoin. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you cannot build it outside there and then you apply to a grant. It should be on the decentralized storage. Remember when Alan was showing you?
Yeah.
You can host from a normal website, desktop apps and web apps, all on the IPFS. Okay?
Okay.
So then you hand in your application. Through that GitHub link, they access your project and then you can have access to those grants if you go through. Most times response takes actually only a month after you hand in your project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are you a developer?
I'm sort of learning the platform in terms of the how things are run for now under the blockchain and those things, GitHub and those things. Yeah, I'm looking at that.
And I remember Alan shared that even if you are not a very well experienced developer, there are easy ways. You call them not codes. Yeah, not codes. To help you easily build platforms on the IPFS and Filecoin. Another thing, what you should do, you might be a business developer, okay? And you are not already like a blockchain developer, but you can organize developers, okay? Blockchain developers, organize them into a team, and then you go as a team and you apply for the grant. Am I clear on that? All right. Any other question? All right, thank you so much.
Okay.
I would like to hand over to Crypto Ghana. Do you have some questions for me, Crypto Ghana?
No, I don't have any questions. Yeah. Yeah, so we having Likem, we'll be building and deploying an NFT collection on IPFS. So Likem will be demonstrating on how to deploy NFTs on the IPFS network. You want a mouse? Hello. Kindly be seated so that we have the presentation that Likem is come to have.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Likem Chukutu, and I'm from Ghana. Right, I'm a blockchain developer. All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, my name is Likem Chukutu, and I'm a blockchain developer, and I'm from Ghana actually. All right, so this afternoon I will be talking about NFTs, the NFT market, deploying an NFT on IPFS, and like deploying on something like NFT.storage, which runs on Filecoin. And the thing is, I want to also give you a demonstration how I know most of the audience are not developers, but just a walk through how an NFT is kind of like developed, and how yourself you can like build an NFT collection and launch it in maybe 2 days, 3 days. Learn a very fast way to learn, not necessarily learning everything from scratch, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing this afternoon, and I hope for it to be very interactive. So if you don't understand anything, you can just ask, and let's just discuss, right? Right. So first off, what's an NFT? Anybody? What's an NFT? Anybody?
An NFT is basically a non-fungible token. All right.
When you say non-fungible, what do you mean?
Not like the other crypto, like what do you call it? Ethereum and the other stuff. NFT, it's what do you call it? I don't know how to explain that part, but it's basically a non-fungible token. Yeah.
All right. I think I've tried. Anybody to help him out? Boys.
NFT are used by artists,
Yeah.
and like if you see now, Don Jay-Z from Nigeria use NFTs.
Okay.
They use it with I don't know, and I don't understand the concept royalties thing. So
All right.
what
Sure. Yeah, you'll try. I like it. Boys, you want to try? NFTs, that is non-fungible token. So they are, like you said, an artworks, yeah, a form of maybe frame, music, and all these avatars, stuff like that. So they are different from our normal tokens. All right. But they are valuable to us. All said, anybody else to try? All right. So I think what you guys have all put across the table are all correct. But the thing about NFTs are that NFTs can be anything. People feel like NFTs are just JPEGs, right? But no, NFTs can be anything, right? Even, for instance, nowadays we can even have tokenized real estate, right? Where an NFT can be a real estate, right? So, for example, in Ghana here, we have this problem with land issues. For example, where I live, the land has been sold 10 times. This person comes today, I'm the owner. Another person comes today, I'm the owner. Another person comes today, I'm the owner. And court issues and over again. But then if we could tokenize a real estate, a land property, so actually NFT is just an asset which is tied to a smart contract. And that smart contract is unique. So we use the ERC 721 implementation, or recently we have the ERC 155 implementation. So with the ERCs, we have basically, for the token standards, we have basically 2 standards. We have the ERC 20 standard, which is like, if you want to make like a token like, for example, DAI or USDT, those are ERC 20 standard tokens, meaning that they are fungible tokens, meaning that when you take one, it's similar to the next one. It's similar to the next one, similar to the next one. But then when you take an ERC 721 token, meaning that that smart contract makes this asset different from this asset, makes it different from this asset, and makes it different from this asset. What the benefits we get from this makes the asset rare and unique on its own, right? So that's what NRC 721 does. But recently, they realized that when you deploy an ERC 721 token on the blockchain, it's relatively very expensive. Why? Because you pay something called gas when you're minting or when you're deploying something across the blockchain. So that has made like deploying a very big, let's say you're an artist and you want to deploy a very big collection, like let's say 10K collection of NFTs, basically JPEGs. You end up spending a lot of gas because you are deploying them one at a time. And you have to pay gas fee for all these collection, and it's very expensive. So what they came up with is ERC 155, which allows you to do a batch minting. So it's more of like an ERC 20 and ERC 721 mixed together into one contract called ERC 155. You understand? So that just some technical things I feel like you should know. And yeah, so let's go ahead with our presentation. Okay, so these are some of the buzzwords in the NFT space. If you go on Twitter, you see a lot of people, what they wake up, they sleep, everything they do on Twitter is NFTs, and they're making a whole lot of money, like a lot of money. Some are not even artists, but are making a lot of money. Someone like Shutterbug, I don't know if you know Shutterbug, he's this Nigerian NFT artist who is like, he used to do digital art at first, but when he moved to the NFT space, he's making so much money, right? And so these are some of the, if you want to come into the NFT space, these are some of the terminologies you'll be hearing. You'll be hearing something like a blue chip project, you'll be hearing something like a floor price, you'll be hearing something like gas fees, which I just highlighted, you'll be hearing something like generative art, which I'm going to actually display today. And you'll be hearing terms like the metaverse and all of these terms. So these are just some definitions. So blue chips NFT projects are projects which like appreciate very much with time. So for example, Bored Ape and Sandbox, this kind of like tokens which are always appreciating in value. Then floor prices, when you are minting a collection, the lowest price of that collection is called the floor price of a collection. Then when you're minting or you're purchasing or you're interacting with an NFT smart contract on chain, you are working with gas fees because you have to pay gas to mint anything on the chain, right? Then generative art. So instead of an artist painting all those collections one by one by one by one, now we have different kind of technology, right? And one I'm even going to implement is called the Hashlips engine, where you just create different layers of different things. So for example, if I want to mint a collection of your face, right? I'll make different samples of your hair, different samples of your eyes, different samples of your mouth, different samples of your ears and everything. Then I'll run a Node.js script, which will just randomly generate all these collections for me, depending on how many images I want. Or we could use augmented data augmentation, which is in machine learning, to generate more of this. Right, then we have the metaverse. The metaverse is the next big thing. Some people are saying it's here to die. Some people are here to stay, but all I can see from what I'm seeing, right, it's here to stay. And the metaverse by 2030 is going to be a $30 trillion industry. So if you jump on right now, build some cool stuff on Horizon Worlds or something, you'll be pretty rich in the next few years. So these are some of the use cases of NFTs. NFTs are not just JPEGs, right? You can have NFTs in games where you play P2E games. P2E means play to earn, right? You are playing a game and you're earning money. That's like Sandbox or Decentraland. That's a big thing. And the metaverse, like I just highlighted, right? So everything in the metaverse can be bought as an NFT. Your avatar in the metaverse can be an NFT and all of that, right? And we have fashion, right? Nike, I think Nike. Was it Nike? I think Nike, they are launching, you can like, in the metaverse, you can use it's like it's wow. I don't even know what to say. And ticket sales, like I think I don't know if you know of the proof of attendance protocol. But when you go to events, right, they give you a pull-up, right? And we even have you can even buy like a ticket online as an NFT, which shows that like it's unique and it's authentic and it's original, right? And one ticket is different from another person, so you can't duplicate another person's ticket. So let's talk about business. What are we come to do today, right? So this is just like my version of a UML diagram. I couldn't draw one, so I just drew on a paper and put it out here. So a UML diagram in software engineering is just like a diagram that before you write your code, actually you solve the problem. Like you try and draw an architecture for it. So this is just like a small like UML diagram I made just to illustrate things. So the SC over there is a smart contract. Then a smart contract to the marketplace. So we have different types of marketplaces. We have variable, we have marketplace, we have OpenSea, the most popular one, and all of these marketplaces. Then, so what makes an NFT unique is that in the smart contract, right? And this is also an added advantage to digital artists. When you sell digital art on the internet, somebody can steal it and go and sell it in another marketplace somewhere in Asia where your attention will never be drawn and make tons of money. But when you tie your NFT to a smart contract, right? Your basically your asset to a smart contract, in the function, right? A function is just like a piece of code that performs a process in code, right? So in the smart contract, you can create a royalties function which creates some sense of belonging and ownership to the person who minted the smart contract, which is like minting the NFT. So meaning that if like I'm a developer, you're an artist, and you come to me that you want to mint your collection or your art with my skills, like my smart contract, I'll create a royalty function which will allow you to have some sense of royalty. You know what royalty is, where you pay percentage for somebody's something. So forever, when somebody buy, let's say I sell my NFT on OpenSea, and you come and buy it, right? You come and buy my NFT. Now, when a collector buys somebody's NFT, forever, as people are flipping the NFT for money, are selling the NFT for money, forever. So far as that my address is in that NFT smart contract in the royalty function. If like for the initial floor price, I sold the NFT for like, let's say $300. The next person will buy by all means. If we are in a bull market, right now we're in a bear market. If you're in a bull run, in a bull market, by all means the price will appreciate. So let's say somebody buy for like $1,000. In that smart contract, there's a percentage on every flip that will come to me, right? So if I sell it for $300, the next person will buy it for like, let's say $1,000. That a 10% cut comes back to my address. If that person also wants to flip that NFT for like, let's say $10,000, because we're in a bull market, of course, another 10% will come to me. And if he sells it and sells it and sells it, so for life, whether I am sleeping or I'm working, I am getting a cut, a royalty fee for my art, right? So there are a lot of opportunities of using NFTs, lots of opportunities. So this, do you want to ask a question? All right, sure. Let's make this interactive.
Thank you. I like the idea of NFTs and stuff like that. I just wanted to know under what condition does a piece of art or a creative qualify to be an NFT?
All right. So like I said earlier, anything can be an NFT. Actually, anything. Even your shit can be an NFT. I kind of remember a story where there was this Indian kid before NFTs became very popular in 2021. He wakes up every day and takes a selfie. Wakes up every day, takes a selfie. And when NFT was booming in 2021, he sold, I think, 365 days of his selfies online for, I think,
hundreds of thousands of dollars. So anything can be an NFT. We witnessed that be sold for $1 million, right? Yes. So yes, we are we are in a very prosperous economy right now.
So talking of the royalties, all right, is it specific with the chain, or let's say, now there are bridges that you can bridge one NFT to another layer, or let's say another chain.
Right.
Okay. So with the royalties, if the original NFT was built on what do you call it, Ethereum, and maybe it's now bridged to maybe Optimism or maybe Arbitrum or something, but the person still get the royalties or something like that.
Definitely.
Oh,
right.
okay.
There are roll-ups and everything to like. I don't want to go into that.
Is it with the smart contract? Or
With the
probably,
yeah.
So when it's listed on OpenSea and there's a bridge, does it move? Because OpenSea, you're not using your smart contracts. You understand? It's more of like you are giving your artworks to OpenSea. So probably I might say bridging is when maybe you're using your own smart contract for maintaining your NFT, but probably when you're doing it on OpenSea, OpenSea doesn't support every network. It probably supports Matic, I think recently Solana, Ethereum. I know OpenSea doesn't support BNB chain. So if you're bridging from OpenSea to BNB, how are you going to get what's the name? Yeah.
Thanks for the presentation. By the way, can I have my NFT on 2 marketplaces at the same time? Yeah. And what if OpenSea is down?
Yeah, you can have it on multiple.
Yes, for that, you can have it on multiple platforms, but it depends on what you are listing. So if you are listing it as a rare, you don't have to put it on different platforms. When you put it on different platforms, people will see that's not rare, or else they might tag you like you, the creator, you are trying to sell it multiple on different platforms. So it's more about trust, letting people trust you. So you put it on OpenSea, you put your, let's say you take this pen, you put it on OpenSea. It's supposed to be on OpenSea. That's where it's supposed to be minted. You don't have to go and mint. Probably you can change the color and go and mint it on another platform. That is allowed. But you can't use it. You can't mint the same thing. You can do it, but somebody might see it and probably tag you like you're trying to scam people, selling it as a rare NFT, but you're also selling it at another place. You understand? So yeah.
Right. Thanks for the contribution and thanks for answering the question too. All right. So does that answer your question? Yeah. All right. So going to metadata. All right. So when you're actually putting your NFT on chain, right, there are like 2 kinds of like things we are dealing with here. We're dealing with the assets itself, like the picture itself, and we are dealing with something called the metadata. Right. So minting your picture itself or the how do I call it? Minting the picture itself is very costly to put on chain, right? So we have like off-chain content addressing platforms like IPFS, where you can put your securely store your NFT assets or your NFT JPEG over there, right? So so somebody asked, why don't you use HTTPS and why are you using IPFS? So with IPFS uses something called a URI to locate your NFT. And that URI is kind of like a hash on the blockchain and it's permanent. So it can't, once that URI is on the blockchain, you know that anything that is on the blockchain is kind of like permanent, right? So once it's on the on chain or on IPFS, it's more of like it's secured than it being on a URL like a normal HTTPS URL, right? So that's why we use IPFS. Then the metadata is more of like the JSON format of your NFT, and that's more of like that because when you deploy something online, the blockchain doesn't really read the code. It reads something called the EVM byte code, right? So it's like JSON, it's more of like a JSON format. So that's your metadata. So when you're actually launching a collection, launch the assets itself, that's a picture. Then you also launch the metadata also. So like we'll be going more into that, right? So what's actually an NFT metadata? So can I read it? When smart contracts were being created and NFTs were being created, people quickly realized that it's really expensive to deploy a lot of data to the blockchain, like I just said. Images as well as 1 kilobyte being stored on the blockchain can cost you up to $1 million to store. So this clearly is an issue for NFTs, right? Since having creative art means you have to store this information somewhere very securely as well, they also wanted a lightweight to store attributes as NFTs. And this is where the token URI and the metadata comes in. So that IPFS hash is actually the token URI, the URI we are talking about. And the metadata is that JSON format I'm also talking about, right? I'll show you more in details. So like I said about the token URI, it's just like the IPFS hash, all right? And this is an example of a metadata, right? So this is a JSON metadata of your NFT or your NFT collection or whatever it is, right? So this is actually a standard defined by OpenSea. You have to use this kind of format for your metadata, the name, the description, the image. This actually is your URI hash, right? This IPFS.io, and this is your CID. This is actually your CID. Then these are your attributes for the JSON format of your NFT or your collective. So how do you deploy? I hope I know you can't see. And, okay, I think I'll kind of like read it. So how to do? I'll read it for you. I know you can't see. All right. So how to deploy NFTs on IPFS? So generally, you will just write your smart contract. That's your ERC-721 smart contract, right? Then you upload your images to maybe NFT.storage or Pinata, right? So NFT.storage is actually runs on Filecoin. And with NFT.storage, right now, I just researched, frankly speaking, I just did a research and about 300,000 developers are using NFT.storage. NFT.storage is very easy to use. And if you're a developer, their API endpoints are very easy to call into your JavaScript project as well. And it's very affordable, or like it's mostly like free, or but it's very affordable, right? But then if you also want to like basically just you don't want to deal with a lot of code, we have another option like Pinata, where you can just upload, like it's just like a drag and drop. You upload your image and you upload your metadata as well to to Pinata. But Pinata also comes to the CLI, like a command line interface, right? Then so after you deploy your images to Pinata or NFT.storage, you also upload your metadata, which is your JSON format, like the one I just showed you, to also the NFT.storage or Pinata. When you're done with that, you now come and deploy your contract, your smart contract. With maybe if you're developing, you have to deploy to a testnet first to make sure everything is working well before you deploy to the mainnet, which is where you use real cash to real ETH or real tokens to actually interact with the blockchain. Then when you're done with that, you test maybe with hard hat or truffle or any of the like foundry or like I'm talking from Ethereum perspective, right? This is not applicable to Solana or other chains, but this is from an Ethereum Polygon perspective. You test with maybe hard hat or truffle, right? Then you verify your smart contracts on maybe Etherscan or these block explorers, basically. Yeah. All right, so that comes to the end of part one, right? So like, I just wanted to give you a small feel of how it is to actually like just a small feel of how an NFT collection is made up of, how you can deploy it on IPFS, or perhaps maybe even launch it on OpenSea testnet. Let's just like work around it. So if you're not even a developer, I want to make it so seamless so that you don't even have to bother about man syntax or like bother so much about programming, right? There are like engines and things you can quickly use to generate your NFT collection and also deploy them very fast. So I just want to walk you through a few of them. All right. All right, all right. So this is actually, it's called the Hashlips Art Engine, right? Remember I talked about generative art, right? Where if you want to launch something very fast, you don't need to create all the NFTs one by one by one by one by one. You can actually just create layers of everything, then use a script or use maybe data augmentation to mix them up randomly and generate a collection very fast. So what this does is that you arrange your assets in layers. So if I want to generate a collection of like 10,000 or 10K or 1,000 images, I don't have to create all of them individually. I can just create different layers of every property of that JPEG. So for example, I want to have 5 different eyes, 5 different hairs, 5 different faces, 5 different hats, 5 different dresses, 5 different ears, 5 different mouth, every part of like the face, right? I want to have different layers, like different layers. So when I'm done with this, I'll put them in the layers folder. Then, okay, so let me clone this. This is actually GitHub. I don't know if all of you have used GitHub before, but GitHub is just this code collaboration platform for developers. All right. So right now I'm cloning the project, right? But then I think when I run for myself earlier today, when I ran this particular version of Hashlips, I think there were some issues. So I created a GitHub issue. Some part of the code doesn't run very well. So I created an issue, right? But so I'll be using another tag, an earlier tag of Hashlips to demonstrate this process. this is how the project would look like in Visual Studio Code. The reason why I'm demonstrating is like for people who are non-developers to be able to generate a collection very fast and deploy to IPFS, right? Standardly, if I'm a developer and I'm like paid to do this, I will not go through this method, right? I have to go by standard, right? But this is just a fast way to generate your collection and maybe deploy to an IPFS. So when I run that script, you see that I run the node index.js. The index.js file contains the code that creates the code generation of all, like it mixes all of the, okay, so let me show you first. So what is this? So I hope you can see, these were the layers. This is another layer. This is another layer. These are just the background layers, right? So when we come to the eye color, this is another eye color layer, another eye color layer, another eye color layer. When you come to the eyeballs, this is a layer for the eyeballs. So these are just the layers, things I'm going to mix together to create a collection. So when I run this script, node index.js in the hashlips generator, it has like mixed all these layers to create a collection for me to see. So let's go and check that out. So when the code ran, it created these layers, these images. Have you seen them? So those layers with that code I ran was able to mix all those layers to create this eyeball for me. Created this different eyeball for me, eyes for me. Created this one as well. Created this one as well. So just using different layers. When you run a Hashlips engine, can just randomly generate NFTs for you. So most of the projects you see right now on the market, they didn't get an artist to draw all those images like a 10K collection. They just use a generator or any data augmentation process, right? also run that script. It didn't just generate the images for me, it also generated the metadata for all the images. Haven't seen them. Generated all the metadata for all those stages. So now, right now we have generated a collection. Let's move to the next part, putting it off-chain on IPFS for permanent storage, right? So that's the next part of the tutorial. Then I think we'll just touch small on the smart contract. If time permits, maybe we'll deploy it. But if time doesn't permit, then at least it's on IPFS and I've seen the demonstration. And if you want to like learn more about NFT collections, you can just hit me up and we can do more things, right? Right. All right, so Pinata, right, is okay. Let me start with NFT.storage. NFT.storage is built on Filecoin, right? It's like I said earlier, it's used by dozens of developers. It's either they are using NFT.storage or they are using Pinata, but mostly NFT.storage. And right, and it's very, very easy to use. So if you're starting to learn about the NFT space, please learn about NFT.storage, right? And using their API SDK is very their SDK is very seamless when you're developing your NFT collection, your smart contract, you are trying to deploy it on IPFS, NFT.storage. And NFT.storage is trusted by the top marketplaces in the world, right? Makerspace, Rarible, OpenSea, all these platforms, all these developers use NFT.storage. But for the case of this tutorial, I'll not be using NFT.storage because I don't want to be working with a lot of API keys, environment variables here and there. So I'll just be using Pinata to just upload our metadata and images on chain, off chain on IPFS. I would first off, to put the NFT on IPFS, there are two parts, like I said. First, you have to put the assets itself, that's the images. Then you have to put the metadata, which the blockchain will actually read, which the blockchain can understand, also off-chain on IPFS. So first, when I generated that collection, it created a build folder for me that created an images folder, which has all the images, the NFTs. And we also created the JSON folder, which contains all the metadata. So right now I'm going to put them one by one on IPFS and show you how it appears on IPFS, right? And I think I'll just open a smart contract, interact with a smart contract, then I think we are fairly done. I won't deploy much because time is fast spent. Now I'm deploying the images onto IPFS using Pinata. right now we have the images on IPFS. We have the JSON metadata also on IPFS. So this is the base URI for our images folder. And this is for the JSON metadata to this NFT collection. And this is also the images folder to our base URI for the images folder. Right, I already explained what the URI is. The contact address of this data on IPFS. This is it. So let's try and verify if all the metadata and images are in there. So when you deploy or when you upload like a folder onto IPFS, even though that the whole folder has a base URI, every image has a unique URI. That's how when you put it into your smart contract knows that this is this URI for this specific image. This is another unique URI for this image. This is another URI for that image, right? So you can see that all of them have different URIs that finds them, even though they have one base URI, right? So right now they are not in order, but these are the images. So if I click one, you'll be able to see that this image is actually on IPFS. So this image is on IPFS. We see with the link https gateway.spinata.cloud.ipfs. That's actually called the gateway, the API, the IPFS gateway, right? And what follows that is the base URI for that folder, then the image. So if I should change this image to 2, you see it changes. So the whole folder has a base URI, but all the specific NFTs have their own unique URIs. Same for the JSON metadata. So these are all the JSON data for all the NFT that was actually put on IPFS. When I open one metadata, the relationship between the metadata and the metadata and the image is that the image is actually in the metadata. You can see it up there, image. So when I copy that whole link and put it into the browser, you'll be able to see that image, right? So now we are done with the IPFS part, uploading it to IPFS. Now, how do we create a smart contract that will interact with maybe OpenSea to declare our functions, what we want to be in our functions and everything? Like which type of functions we want our smart contract, our NFTs to be interacted. Like when you interact with our NFT, what do you expect to get out of it? So we create the smart contract using a popular IDE called Remix, right, for Ethereum. All right, please, at this moment, any questions? Any questions? As of now, I'm bringing my presentation to almost an end. Any questions? All right. No questions. All right. I think time is fast spent, so I'll pause here. But if you want to learn more about how to generate NFTs and how to create a marketplace, how to create a minting website, I'm over here. You can come over and talk to me. If you have any project in mind you want to work on, I'll be glad to jump on and see where we go from there. Right. Thank you so much. My name is Likem Jokutu and I'm a blockchain developer.
Yes, so I think Likem was our final speaker, and we'll be ending very soon. So I'll ask Enoch to come and share with us his final words so that we can end the session.
Wow, so much. I've had a very nice time out here in Accra. So it's a success. Guys, let's just give a round of applause to the Falcon Foundation one. Also, let's give a round of applause to ourselves, please. Like, it's not easy. Let's clap for ourselves. It's not easy. It's not easy. I want to thank my colleagues who have made out time, because as a matter of fact, everybody's busy. You know, the Tanzania, everybody over, you know, just trying to like make sure that every one of us, okay, awesome. The business guy, the billionaire Martin is here. So he has some gift for us, right? Okay, we have some swags to give you for participating. Okay, the fourth, all right, awesome. Okay, you could come over. Okay, thank you. So you have a gift from us. Okay, okay, you also have a gift from us. Please come over while we present to you. So which are we giving you? Which do you want? The one, right? Okay, white. So so behalf of all right, behalf of the foundation. Okay, on behalf of the FICON community, we're having this to give you. It's one of the swag we wear towards the event, and then we're working with you to see how we could scale up this community here in Ghana. So thank you. See this. Okay. You too. All right. Okay. So which are you going for? You have a lot, sir. I think you have in Nigeria. All right, sir. Okay, okay. So okay, so let me invite Alain to present this. Alain, please present this to him. Thank you. So let's invite Brian to please present this. Who are we giving? Oh, okay, awesome. Okay, Brian, please come and present. Oh, yes. Let's see, please. Let's see. Really? Yes. Let's see. I was doing something there. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So.
Okay. Thanks for participating. You go outside and amplify the sound of the voice of Firecoin into your community, and it's an open thing for anyone to join. So thank you for attending. Yeah, here is your swag. Yeah. Yeah, then my colleague from Gabon.
Martin to present that. Okay, awesome.
Yes, our brother from Gabon. Thank you for attending our event and participating fully. We want you to be the voice of Filecoin, Orbit community, and protocol labs in Gabon. Carry the message of decentralized storage and spread the message of a decentralized web. Thank you.
Vida, he here. Okay. All right. So let's invite like him. Like him, please. We have this for you. Oh, you're already an ambassador then. Okay. Take double push. Okay. Okay. Please. All right. Thank you. So, on behalf of the FICON community, first, we appreciate your time you spent, and then so we're doing a lot here in Ghana. So just we have a meeting with the ambassadors. So thanks so much. All right. We want to take pictures, please. Every one of us. Every one of us. Okay, I can see some great, my great. Please, I need to meet you. I need to meet you. These important persons. Please, we have a gift for you. Just come and please receive. I hope it's to size. It should be extra large, I guess. Should be okay. No, that's medium. Okay, just so on behalf of the FICON community, thank you for coming. So you're the voice, and then let's see what we can do together. Thank you so much. Congratulations. So please, let's have a group picture. Vida, are you there? Where's Prince? Okay. Okay. Okay, call her. Yeah, I just want to appreciate the media guys. Thank you. At least you help our ministry. It's been funny, but all the same. Okay, the bonus. Okay, awesome. Yes. Yeah. And some of us who have left. Okay, awesome. Our background. Okay, so we should bring this one on. Okay, okay. Yeah, Martin, we have some job. Alan, we have some job. Okay, one. Yeah, Alan, I think I'm interested. Please, you're free. You're not engaged. Okay, all you guys are not my come and present to the girls. Come. Okay, yes. So Alan, please present to one of our.
Hi. Okay. Thank you for coming to the event. Yeah, I hope you had an amazing time. Okay.
All right, thank you. Right, so all right, over to you. Right, yes, I do. I trust you.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for attending the Filecoin Orbit Community Meetup. And you're the voice of Filecoin and the decentralized internet. And we need to onboard more ladies on the Web3 space. So go out there and spread the word. Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello. In a special way, I would like to thank her for helping us with the organization. We thank you so much for the amazing job. And I would like you to send a message of Filecoin in Ghana here so that the community grows 4 times faster. Okay? Spread the message of Filecoin, a decentralized web, and onboard more ladies to Filecoin. Thank you.
Okay, the team, please, ambassadors, Prince Vida, please just join us here. Let's just take a picture. Yeah, a group picture. Yeah. So the ladies, we need to do. You guys need to we need more ladies. So please just come join. Yeah. Yeah, like him. Crypto Ghana, please join. Yeah, Martin, come to join. Yeah, the ladies first. Ladies lead. Yeah. Ladies lead, yeah. Accra babes, leads. Leads, okay. Yeah, please wear a shirt if possible. Wear a shirt, please. So we'll give you some seconds. So so while we wait for them, we're already bringing this meeting to a close. I want to sincerely appreciate everyone who has make out time to be here. I know how busy you are, and sincerely, I must appreciate my colleagues here from other countries. I keep telling because it's not easy, but because this whole thing was in fact, if you know how we plan, and everybody's here, just want to thank everyone. And one prayer I used to pray, I'm a Christian, that at your own event, men will be there to support you through Christ Jesus. Amen. So, and I also want to thank Accra, Ghana for welcoming this opportunity, because it would have been something else, coming and just myself alone. But you guys really embrace it. Thanks for having great men like Crypto Ghana making out time. I know how busy you are, and you've been able to reach out to your community. So we want to see how we could do much works together with you. It's a decentralized. Remember, that's the concept. So it's not a centralized. It's you and I, every one of us, making sure that more of us are being empowered. This opportunity, as Ambassador Brian said, the ecosystem is too much loaded, and we're trying to raise some new set of billionaires, let me put it that way. So I want us to take time. We need to pay attention to study. there's no magic there. Just take time to develop yourself. Whatever you're doing, just keep doing it, but make up time. If it's just an hour on this ecosystem, you see the reward. I know where I am. I see reference on him. He chatted me, I remembered in February. And I'm still surprised. I'm still amazed to even see him here. You know, he paid the price, and it's not as if he's doing something, but the passion, the zeal. And watch out for men like this, they're going places. I want to thank him for making out time. He also have a commitment for tomorrow, but he's here. Thank you so much. I want to thank, what else am I missing out again? A whole lot. Just using this opportunity to thank the founder, John Burnett, and our leader, Julia, and so many, Brenda, and a lot of them. Thank you for supporting Africa. So I want to see how, as much as possible, African is really welcome, and we promise in the next 1-2 years, we'll be seeing a whole amazing applications on the ecosystem. I want to thank Vida too, especially. Thank you so much. What will I say? Because at the time, we guys, how it is, but when a lady is there, thanks. So many things she opened her eyes on, and it's beautiful, this event. So we want to see how we could do a bigger mega event in Accra, or maybe Kumasi, or any other place. But please don't join the Telegram, join the WhatsApp, let's rub mind. So after this, we want to see if we could put an online workshop for next week, Saturday, online, virtual, so anybody can connect. Then maybe the next one, the first meetup in Kumasi. Then the ladies, we could start doing something on the ladies aspect. You just as you're working, you're learning. So you don't need to be perfect. Just open yourself, and please take the words, all what you've learned, don't just trash it. Put it and just give yourself the next 6 months. You'll see, you'll be happy with yourself. So Nigeria is already doing a growth. In Africa, Nigeria is really disrupting the ecosystem. So we definitely don't want to do it alone. So that's why I'm actually representing amazing ambassadors over there. So thank you so much. Delays, are you ready for the picture? Okay, please come over. Follow our Twitter and other informations. Materials will be shared to you. Ask questions, keep asking and stuff like that. You get there. All right, okay. Okay, so fine, let's have the pics. Just the picture with Ficon shirt alone. Those wearing Ficon shirts. So if you don't have, we could wear your own. All the Ficon, Crypto Ghana, please wear your own. Hey, Lakem, yeah, you're already wearing yours. Yeah. So wear your Ficon shirt and join us. Okay. So these pictures will be what we use for the Ghana stuff. Okay, here, please. Yeah. Where's Prince now? Okay. Yeah. Prince? No, Ficon shirts, not white shirts. Ficon shirts, join us. I don't know if Alan, do you have something to say? Okay, Brian. Okay, so Okay, Brian have something to say. Okay. Martins, any other thing? So, bringing the meeting, we're bringing this workshop to a close. So, until then, see you online.